Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Metzler, one of the programmers here at SF Doc Fest. As you might know, we've been doing this festival for 23 years. We've been bringing films from around the world in the Bay Area. Some of the coolest, irreverent political docs, just a smorgasbord of documentaries. And we're lucky enough just to have this film from Hungary, Narrow Path to Happiness, and we're joined by filmmaker Kata. Welcome, Kata.
Thank you very much. Hi,
Well,
everybody.
this was a cool film to kind of run across. And can you tell us a little bit about the origin story for the film? What was the kind of catalyst for you to decide to, pick up a camera and make it?
Well, it was a very interesting story because I didn't find a story, but the story found me. So I was just at home and we received a very strange email from two Gypsy Roma boys from a settlement from the poorest part of Hungary. And then in the email, they wrote us that they want to create a musical film based on their true love story. And that was like so shocking, like, poor and uneducated kids, they want to make a, musical film about their life. So that was really immediately very interesting. So I answered back, yeah, sure, let's meet. And then I said, well, we probably will not going to apply for a script found, but I will start to follow you and then we will make a documentary film. So that's how it started. And then
Oh,
it was 5 years.
and once you started filming them, were they surprised about all that kind of went into the making of the film? And how did that kind of evolve? Because it's one thing to have an idea, but then to, kind of make it happen.
Yeah, sometimes I'm always wondering when they ask, how did you find your great characters or did you, cast your characters? And I think I was lucky and I had a good feeling that these two boys, these two guys are really great characters for a film because they got used to the camera really very, very fast. They just loved it. They really enjoyed it. And I have to tell you that it was also in a sense because in Hungary the whole situation for the LGBT community is like really it's getting worse and worse, and being two boys in love and being Roma on the top, so it's like double handicap in their life. They are not used to be loved and listened, and they're not too used to have an attention on them. And because we had no financial background from Hungary, obviously we did not get any fund in Hungary. We just pick up the camera, and I'm lucky enough that I keep at home a very great cinematographer as a husband, which I recommend to every documentary filmmakers when you don't have a real good budget. So we were like free to go and just, whenever there is something happened or they said there is a great thing in our life, we just grabbed the camera and went and we were with them. And because they were both both of the parents were like, oh my God, they couldn't do anything with this situation that they two boys living together. So they had no relation with their families. So in a certain way, we were like their family for a few years.
Well, that's sweet. I mean, unfortunate for the cause behind it, but nice that you guys were able to kind of connect in those ways. That raises two questions. Would you kind of consider them kind of collaborators in the documentary, or would you say or did you consider it more observational, where you're just kind of capturing what happens?
Well, it was absolutely observational. We did not interfere in the story. And I think the basic agreement between us, it was very important through all these years, that in the very beginning we said, okay, you have this dream of making a musical film. And then very soon they wanted to move to the capital and meet people and just, go around. But we said, listen, we will not going to pay for anything. We are not going to arrange anything. So we will be there behind you, but we not interfere. So that was the agreement. But as they were through these years, and in the film also, you can see that they are trying to create a musical film. somehow they become the, protagonists of their own life. So I think at a certain moment they started to live and arrange their own life that it's gonna be very good in a film. So it's like it's a film in a film in a film kind of thing,
Yeah.
So, and one of the boys, the younger boy, I mean, he seems to be very quiet and, not too much talking, but he is a very great organizer and a manager kind of guy. He really arranged so many interesting things.
Nice. And then, I know that the LGBTQ situation in Hungary has been difficult over time, but could you talk a little bit about what the situation was like when you first started making the film, and then how has that kind of become even more difficult during these years?
Well, it unfortunately it's one of the tool of the government, that they are against the LGBT people. So the propaganda is getting wider, and it gets into the mind of the every single people. I mean the simple people. So of course there are new and more laws all over. I mean like restricting things. But like when we finished the film and we wanted to screen in cinemas, there were certain parts of the country that they were even, said, oh, please don't even say we were talking on the phone. So they were so like afraid. They said, if we screen in our cinema, maybe we will never get any chance again. It can cause
Wow.
us really big problems. And also you could feel in the very beginning, of course, these two boys are very active on social media. And we could see how, 5, 6 years ago when we started and they started to post things about themselves and about the story, oh, a film is made about us. Even national TV, not the state TV, but some TV, they had like stories on we are making this film and about the boys. And by the time we finished the film, the law doesn't allow to show us or the story on TV at all.
Wow.
And when we came out, some of the newspapers, that they usually write about my film, they called me and they said, I cannot write about your film anymore.
Wow. How, as an artist and a creative person, uh, how do you maintain the perseverance, to keep on, making an independent film, knowing that is all this uncertainty at the end of the road? How did you kind of like maintain your stamina?
Well, it's a good question. I don't regret I did it, and I would do it all over again, but I'm not sure I would start a new one now.
Mm.
Because it is I'm just a filmmaker, and I love personal stories, and I like to give positive personal stories, and I think in the story of the boys it's a very complicated story and it's a sad story, but it has a very positive tune because it's a kind of happiness they find somehow. But this struggle that I had to do, I don't know if I would do it all over again. I mean, now people are telling me, oh, you're so brave. Oh my God, I don't want to be brave. I want to be a filmmaker.
Yeah. Well, you wound up crafting a very beautiful film, and I think it's a great testament to their kind of love story and friendship. So thanks for sticking with it. And since the completion of the film, can you share any updates about them?
The boys.
Yes.
Oh well, well, as I told you, the situation is more and more difficult. The place that they found in the capital in Budapest 5 years ago, they had to move out, and they had really hard time for many months to find a new place, because now it's more difficult as they are openly gay, and of course the color of their skin, it makes it even more difficult. So they work very hard. They work very hard to try to, you know, pay the rent, but finally they could find a new place they can rent, which is very tiny, small. But well, life is difficult, but the good thing is that that they can spend more time with their family, and that's great.
Very cool. Well, thank you again for making the film and being part of SF DocFest. Really appreciate it, Kaveh.
Thank you so much, and it's the place, because we could have never finished the film without Mark Smolovitz. You know, I mean, we were so lucky to meet him, and you know, in all the ways. I mean, like financially, structuring the story. So I'm really very happy that the film arrives to San Francisco, to his
Absolutely. Mark
hometown.
is a really great San Francisco-based producer, and we're excited to be able to kind of share the film.
Yes.
Cool. Well, thank you again, and keep us posted about the next films, and keep on making the beautiful films that you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Most definitely.